Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, a man is facing multiple charges after he allegedly pointed a gun at someone in West Forks.
Somerset County Sheriff's deputies were sent to Barry's General Store in West Forks for a disturbance around 1:30 this morning. Chief Deputy Michael Mitchell says Brandon and Jill Barry told police they woke up to the sound of their vehicle running. They discovered 28-year-old Edward Baker inside their vehicle, and he had allegedly fired a gun through the windshield. Baker also allegedly pointed the gun at Brandon Barry. Deputy Mitchell says the Barrys and a neighbor were able to subdue Baker and secure the gun until law enforcement could arrive. Baker is facing a variety of charges, including criminal threatening with a dangerous weapon and burglary. His bail is set at $25,000 cash.
4 people, including a mother and son, have been arrested on drug trafficking charges in East Machias. Deputies from the Washington County Sheriff's Office and agents from the Maine Drug Enforcement Agency arrested 61-year-old Tammy Davis and her 39-year-old son, Nicholas Ames, both of East Machias. 33-year-old Jermaine Henry and 27-year-old Rashawn Howard, both from the Bronx, New York, were also arrested. MDEA Commander Peter Arno says during the search of a Jacksonville Road home in East Machias, authorities seized suspected fentanyl, 78 grams of suspected crack cocaine, and almost $2,500 in suspected drug proceeds. All 4 were taken to the Washington County Jail. Bail for Henry and Howard is set at $50,000 cash. Bail for Davis and Ames will be set by the court.
Well, a chaotic scene outside the Natural Living Center grocery store today after a car hit the front of the building. The call came in just before 10 o'clock reporting a car crashed into the building on Longview Drive. And as you can see, the car didn't actually breach the building, but did cause some damage to the exterior. Bangor Fire and police were on scene immediately to assess the damage.
The driver's not injured. Feels like they mixed up the gas and the brake pedal and just into the building. We have the code enforcement from the city of Bangor coming over just to take a look. It doesn't appear that anything's structural.
Lieutenant Bean said as long as the code enforcement officer gives employees the okay, the business should be able to remain open.
Meanwhile, the search continues in Ogunquit for a missing dog who escaped after a crash on the turnpike. The Ogunquit Fire Department says a passenger and 10 beagles were ejected from a pickup truck after the driver fell asleep and crashed on I-95 today. The passenger is hospitalized but is expected to survive. 1 dog died at the scene. 8 of the other beagles have now been found, some as far away as Wells and Ogunquit Beach. And they're mostly doing well, but right now Whiskey is still missing. You're asked to keep an eye out, especially between Berwick Road and Captain Thomas Road. That's where they say Whiskey is most likely to be. If you see Whiskey, you're asked to call police.
A Maine National Guard soldier accused of raping a fellow soldier during a drill weekend has been convicted of aggravated assault. David Sear is serving 90 days in jail after pleading no contest in exchange for prosecutors dropping 2 charges of gross sexual assault last month. The charges against Sear stemmed from a 2019 incident in which he was accused of assaulting a woman after drills in Washington County. The plea deal means Sear does not have to register as a sex offender. His attorney said Sear maintains his innocence.
Well, it's no secret Maine is experiencing a housing crisis. That was the center of a discussion in Augusta today. Devin Dagnall has more.
Wednesday, the USDA and leaders from all over the state met in Augusta for a roundtable discussion on how to address Maine's affordable housing crisis. Joaquin El Toro, administrator for the USDA Rural Housing Service, says it is a bipartisan issue that needs action immediately.
That when it comes to the conversation of housing, the challenges and the opportunities do not sit on just one person's shoulders. We have to understand that it truly takes a village.
According to Rhiannon Hampson, Maine State Director of USDA's Rural Development, one tool to combat the crisis is loans that have been made available through the USDA from President Biden's Build Back Better program. Through Section 502 loans, the USDA is helping Maine families either build or move into homes they wouldn't be able to otherwise with 0% down. Dan Churchill, a resident of Bridgeton, Maine, is a single father of twins who has been able to build and move into a brand new home with the help of the USDA. Churchill says that becoming a homeowner has not only helped him feel more secure, but it has also helped his two sons grow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And watching them, they thrive. And so just being at the house, playing around the yard, it's it's not on a main road anymore, so I don't have to worry about the traffic. It's everything that I wanted for them. And so that, to me, was worth all the headaches I went through the whole entire process.
Churchill is just one of many success stories from the USDA loan program. According to Altoro, the USDA plans on expanding its loan program and other programs like it in the near future to help Mainers through the worsening housing crisis. Those gathered say there is a lot more work to do to solve Maine's housing crisis. For more information about the loans, visit rd.usda.gov. In Augusta, I'm Devin Dagnold for ABC7 and Fox 22.
Well, nearly $2.5 million is coming to Maine to strengthen its forest economy. The investment from the U.S. Forest Service's Wood Innovations Grant and Community Wood Grant programs will help 4 businesses across the state, most of them in our region. The funding was requested by Senators Susan Collins and Angus King earlier this year. In a joint statement, they said, quote, "The future of Maine's forest products industry is bright. With new technologies like cross-laminated timber and biomass energy, the historic sector has a chance to overcome obstacles of the last few decades and restore jobs in our state's logging communities," end quote.
And as we look outside today, a bit of a cloudier day out there, but pretty comfortable and nice nonetheless.
Very comfortable, and I have to say I'm very much looking forward to what's coming at us weather-wise. And with a bit more on that, we'll hit pause here and take a first look with Jeff Weller.
Hey, Beth, thank you. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather is brought to you by Scott's Recreation with offices in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono. And all right, look what we did today. Almost 80 here in Bangor, 77 Bar Harbors, everything will not get, but the cold air is going to win. Much cooler temperatures are on the way for tomorrow, and they're going to last for the rest of the week. Okay, so going forward, so lots of clear skies out there now. The clouds we had earlier are kind of fading away. We'll be in for a quiet night tonight and a quiet day tomorrow as all of this kind of moves away, and then a couple of very nice yet cooler days around here going forward. Our forecast then tonight, though, is mostly clear skies, partly cloudy skies, with low temperatures down in the 50s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth?
All righty, Jeff, thanks so much. Definitely a bit of a cool down heading our way now.
Yeah, we'll take that too. And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, 3 Maine schools are ranked among the best higher education institutions in the Northeast. We'll tell you which ones.
And the town of Brownville named 3 of its bridges in honor of citizens who've lost their lives fighting for our country. Those stories and more local news when we return.
Jared Golden promised to watch out for us, even campaigned as a fighter against Biden's reckless spending that he knew would make inflation worse. But 3 days later, Jared Golden cast a deciding vote for Biden's newest wasteful spending bill that experts say will hike taxes by billions on those making under $200,000. Maine families are already struggling too much on Jared Golden's watch. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Autumn of Life Home Care is a great place to work. The team here provided me with all the opportunities and experience necessary to grow within the company, all while working around my busy college schedule. They provided all the necessary licensing and training. It truly was the job that kickstarted my career.
Autumn of Life Home Care in Brewer is a licensed agency with personal support specialists.
Let our compassionate, reliable, considerate caregivers make your life a little easier by providing assistance for you or your loved one.
Autumn of Life Home Care. We focus on you. Apply today.
Who can you call when you need immediate help, any time of day or night? Always giving you and your family peace of mind.
AAA's legendary roadside assistance is a network with over 50,000 vehicles that respond to more than 32 million assistance calls every year.
If something happens and we're broken down, my family's not going to be stranded.
There are so many benefits to membership, and AAA is there if you're locked out of your car, need a tow, run out of gas, have a flat tire, or a dead battery.
You know, if you have one flat tire or one battery service, that membership fee pays for itself.
Wherever you go, wherever you are, you can trust AAA to be there when you need them.
Join today and a full year of AAA membership is just $53. We'll waive the membership admission fee, and as a special bonus, you'll receive a 1-year membership for an eligible family member. Don't wait another second. Call to join AAA right now.
The Pirates battle Lindor, Alonso, and the Mets. It's Baseball Night in America, Thursday at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Hi, I'm Joe Cortez. Coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll have the latest out of local news, including the Ronald McDonald benefit, and we'll also have details on the Bangor Historical Society doing their own night at the museum using portraits coming to life. You won't want to miss that. And also, Devin Biggs will have your full weather forecast. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. What's old is new again at Pleasant Mountain. The name change comes after more than 30 years, and the resort says it's all to pay homage to its roots. This is the mountain's new logo. Pleasant Mountain is the physical name of the mountain where the ski resort resides in Bridgeton. It was changed to Shawnee Peak back in the 80s when a company out of Pennsylvania purchased the resort. But through the years, that name really never resonated with those who grew up skiing there. And now, with the original Pleasant Mountain name making its return, the owners say they hope to honor the past while looking to the future.
I mean, I think that is the intention, really, is to go back to honor everything that's happened here historically, all the firsts that we had, along with being the first resort in Maine. We had the first ski patrol, we had the first chairlift in Maine. There's so many different things to celebrate.
The name change also comes with changes at the mountain itself, including new signs and a new website. Pleasant Mountain hasn't said yet when they plan to open this year.
Well, Charter Communications has extended broadband services in the city of Ellsworth. The company says it's all part of its investment of more than $3 million in projects in rural Maine. The Spectrum fiber optic network expansion project will bring full Spectrum services to more than 1,500 homes in Ellsworth. City Manager Glenn Mosier says it's a step forward in their goal of expanding broadband access to everyone who lives in Ellsworth.
Since the pandemic, the city staff has worked really hard at finding new opportunities and ways to expand broadband throughout the city of Ellsworth, with the ultimate goal of bringing 100% to all of the citizens in the city of Ellsworth to have high speed, reliable, and affordable broadband.
Charter Communications estimates that there are still about 46,000 Mainers who don't have high-speed internet access. A spokesperson says the company is working hard to change that number and expand broadband to more Mainers.
The Bangor Humane Society is asking for the public's patience as they move to a limited schedule following a COVID outbreak amongst their staff. BHS is usually open 12 to 6 p.m. 6 days a week to match humans with their new best furry friends. But for right now, they'll only be open from 12 to 3 p.m. The shelter says a member of their animal care staff came down with COVID, and the illness spread to 5 other animal care team members. Now that work is falling on other staff.
And that means that our front of house staff, who also helps with outback stuff too, but now the onus of that is sort of falling to them, and we just can't manage to do well both customer service and animal care, so we've got to prioritize.
The shortened hours mean the remaining staff members can shift their focus to animal care in the meantime. They're hoping to resume normal hours next week. Ravenscraft says the shortened hours do not affect donation drop-offs. You can still drop off blankets, pet food, and other essential items at the front of the building. They are always in need of those donations.
Well, the town of Brownville named 3 of its bridges in honor of citizens who lost their lives fighting for our country. Matthew Jaroncic has the story.
For purple mountains, majesties.
Wednesday morning, the Brownville community gathered at 3 of its bridges to rename them after 3 veterans who lost their lives fighting overseas. Gary Larson, who lost his brother Stanley Larson while defending Outpost Harry during the Korean War, says the recognition shows how much the town cares about those who served.
It says that the people here in Brownville appreciate the sacrifices that he made, and we as a family, appreciate all that the town has done.
The bridge renaming process began early last October when Brownville Junction Historical Society member Dan Peters presented a proposal at a select persons meeting, with Senator Paul Davis moving into legislature to sign. The bridge in Brownville Village will now be known as the Stanley Smith Larson Memorial Bridge. The Brownville Junction Bridge will be renamed as the Edward Fredonia Stone Memorial Bridge, and the Millinocket Road Bridge was rededicated as the Eldon Howard Cale Memorial Bridge. In front of each bridge, the color guard started off a ceremony, which was followed by a prayer and comments from Senator Davis and Representative Richard Evans. Davis says this is a way we can thank those who put their lives on the line for us.
Remember the sacrifice that they gave us. They gave their lives. They gave everything, so that we could be free.
Family members of those being honored also had the chance to say a few words. The day was an emotional roller coaster for many of these families.
It's great that they've done this in his honor. He did give his life for his country, and at a young age, leaving 5 kids behind.
For us to have this bridge named after him is extremely special, given that it wasn't just him that served. He served along with 3 of his brothers, and he was the one that didn't come home.
Peters said that people who cross the bridge should be grateful for the lives they currently have.
I would like people to view the sign as they cross the bridge, to come to a realization that freedom is not free. I would like everyone to live their lives as Stanley Smith Larson dreamed of living his.
Reporting from Brownville, Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
And our gratitude to all those who have served and are serving.
Absolutely.
Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, President Biden hits the road and travels to the Detroit Auto Show to highlight electric vehicles.
And the threat of a rail strike still looms despite some tentative deal making, and the nation's food supply could take a hit. We'll have those stories and much more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
When you're looking to save, you head to the outlets. Well, come to the Furniture Factory outlet in any Jordan store. You can have that new look at outlet prices and get up to 60 months no interest. Experience the style at Jordan's.
I was just telling these guys about Jared Golden. He's a Marine who puts country ahead of politics. And then there's Bruce Poliquin. He's a multi-millionaire Wall Street banker who went to Washington, took all that money from the insurance industry, and voted to let them increase premiums. Worse, Poliquin said he wants to raise the retirement age. He's for them, not us. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When you're ready to tackle your next building project, no matter how big or small, depend on Hammond Lumber Company for the products and services you need. The knowledgeable staff at Hammond Lumber will be with you every step of the way and keep your project on schedule. From free estimating and project planning to design and drafting services, an extensive product inventory with a wide variety of brands to choose from, and of course, Hammond delivers from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Think about this. Everything you own is an extension of you. Your music, your toys, your clothes. Yeah, definitely your clothes. And of course, your SUV. So now, when you custom order your new Ford SUV, get what you want, the way you want it. The accessories, the style, the stuff that makes you, you. Start your custom order at your local Ford dealer today. Get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $500 bonus cash when you order select Ford SUVs.
On the Road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from Millinocket, is sponsored by West Branch Wellness, the Katahdin region's premier med and head shop. Exceptional products, even better service. The Katahdin General Store, an agency liquor store with a new takeout menu, souvenirs, and all your outdoor essentials. And Davis Pharmacy, offering home medical equipment, respiratory services and supplies, pharmacy services and gifts. Stop in or call today.
Whatever your budget, we'll make it easy to create the home that fits you and that fits your style. And now get up to 60 months no interest. Experience the choices at Jordan's.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business.
President Biden made a stop in Detroit today for the city's auto show. His administration is setting aside $900 million for electric vehicle chargers that will be built in 35 states. The president is also closely monitoring the threat of a railroad strike that could disrupt supply chains. Fox's Grady Trimble reports from Detroit.
Come on, jump in and give you a ride to Washington.
President Biden getting a first-hand look at some of the newest cars on display at the Detroit Auto Show. Many of them electric. The president, trying to spark sales, announced $900 million from last year's infrastructure law will go towards building EV charging stations in 35 states.
It used to be that to buy an electric car, you had to make all sorts of compromises. But not now. Thanks to American ingenuity, American engineers, American auto workers, it's all changing.
His visit coming as new worries about inflation and renewed fears of a recession loom. Stocks were steady Wednesday after August's inflation data led to a huge sell-off on Wall Street Tuesday. Still, there are worries the Federal Reserve may be forced into aggressive interest rate hikes.
If the Fed is serious about bringing inflation down, we've got a long way to go.
Another worry for the economy, a possible railroad strike that could happen Friday. White House officials are scrambling to avoid it, meeting with railroad and union officials to try to hammer out an agreement. Workers are demanding better sick time policies.
A shutdown of our rail system is unacceptable outcome for our economy, and the American people and all parties must work to avoid just that.
After getting canceled because of COVID, the auto show is back in the Motor City for the first time in more than 3 years. In Detroit, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
And as you just heard Mr. Trimble mention, the fight between railroads and unions could be driving up prices at your local grocery store. Fox's Jeff Flock has more from Philadelphia.
I'm at the CSX Railroad Intermodal Facility in Philadelphia, and if it looks like there are a lot of shipping containers stacked up here, well, wait till Friday. That's if the rail strike happens, which will have huge impacts on everything from steel to lumber to oil to food. Specifically food, prices already very high, but take a look at how much of this nation's grain gets transported by rail each year. 635,000 carloads of corn each year. Wheat, 320,000 carloads. Beans, 250,000 carloads. And when it comes to exports, particularly important right now in the light of the Ukraine situation, 40% of our grain exports are transported by the rails. As we said already, food prices high. Looking at the CPI numbers on food from yesterday and the items that are shipped by rail, like cereals and flour, up 16% already year over year. Fish and meat up 10%. Fruits and vegetables up another 10%. Right now, the White House is in a tough spot. Tends to support labor unions and their actions, but right now, a bad time to have the economy hamstrung like it would be if there was to be a strike. They say at the White House they are hoping for the best, but they are preparing for the worst.
We are working with other modes of transportation, including the shippers and truckers, air freight, to see how they can step in and keep goods moving in case of this rail shutdown.
But the fact is, it would be impossible for trucks to pick up the slack from the rails. One estimate is over 400,000 extra trucks would be needed. We don't have enough already. The only thing that could stop a strike, not the White House, they don't have the power, but the Railway Labor Act does give Congress the power to stop a strike. But it might take bipartisan action. Right now, that's a tough one. In Philadelphia, I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
And with the cost of living going up, many people are saying that they just can't keep up with it. Fox's Jerry Willis has more.
A day after new government data confirmed inflation is still at stubbornly high levels. A new consumer survey shows more than half of Americans struggling to keep up with rising prices. 55% of working Americans, surveyed by Bankrate.com, say their income has not kept up with inflation, that even as 48% received raises in the past 12 months. Now, economists telling us that even though pay increases have risen at the fastest rate in 20 years, household budgets still getting squeezed further and further. Listen.
We've seen savings levels come down. We've seen credit card debt levels go up. I think a lot of households having to lean against one or the other to bridge the gap where the income stops.
Meanwhile, Census Bureau data showing Americans as a whole have experienced 2 years in a row of declining or flat household income. Median 2021 income hitting $70,800, slightly lower than 2020's $71,200 income declines. By the way, coming even after significant government spending on COVID relief. You're familiar with that. The Census Bureau also saying, and this is a surprise that a lot of people didn't cover, U.S. income inequality rose to a record during Biden's first year. The Bureau saying the income share of the lowest 80% shrank in 2021 and rose for the top 20%. The data showing 23.5% of total income went to the top 5% of American households. That compares to 23% in 2020. Back to you.
Well, with most of northeast Ukraine now liberated thanks to a lightning-fast advance by Ukrainian forces, the focus now turns south, where Ukrainians are making slow but steady progress. Fox's Jeff Paul has more from Kyiv.
It's clear the Ukrainians have made significant progress.
6 months after the Russian invasion, the war in Ukraine may have reached a possible turning point. Virtually all of the Northeast has now been liberated in a surprise counterattack that's seen the Ukrainian military retake more than 3,700 square miles in just the past 2 weeks. A counteroffensive in the south, which had been inching along, is now moving more quickly. Russian troops abandoning the key southern city of Melitopol on Wednesday.
We've seen the Ukrainians demonstrate a remarkable adaptability in their ability to use their warfighting capabilities to great effect.
In some areas, the Russian retreat happened so quickly, tanks and heavy weapons were abandoned in big numbers. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, getting a first-hand look at the devastation left behind, saying the scenes are similar to those in other liberated towns and cities, with hundreds of civilians dead or missing.
The same, destroyed buildings, killed people, and so, what can I say? That is the part of our real history.
Meanwhile, on the economic front, the European Union finalizing a proposal to help contain the energy crisis sparked by the war, including a new energy sharing system and a cap on profits.
We need to understand that the pre-war situation with abundant cheap fossil fuels is not coming back.
Russia has now reduced or cut off gas supplies to more than a dozen countries supporting Ukraine. In Kyiv, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the Bangor Historical Society is getting ready to host a night at the museum if portraits could talk.
And in sports, the Portland Sea Dogs are one win away from clinching their first playoff berth since 2014. We talked to some of the players ahead of the big game against Somerset. We'll be right back.
With Ronda Rousey off suspension and on the warpath, Liv Morgan's days as champion numbered. An all-new edition of Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
$7.8 million. That's how much I made home sellers in the past 2 years. Planning on selling? I'm Holly Taylor. Come to the one, gets it done. HollyTaylor.Realtor.
Offensive and divisive. That's Paul LePage's legacy. But it's not just what he said as governor. It's what he did. LePage slashed funding for cancer screenings for women. He refused to invest in clean energy, kicked over 1,000 seniors off their prescription drug program, and even opposed funding to Meals on Wheels. So, if that's what Paul LePage did last time he was governor, we can't send him back. The top funder of the Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
At Hashi's Auto Enhancing, our focus is on the appearance, longevity, and value of your vehicle. Does your undercarriage look like this? You can go from this to this. And if you have a new vehicle, you can avoid this. Our annual undercoating service will add years of life to your vehicle. At Hashies, we also do Rhino linings. We can Rhino rocker panels, bumpers, trailers, side-by-sides, and more. We take pride in making your ride shine, inside and out. Book one of our detailing packages.
Bring your ride to us to protect your investment.
Here, you can find monuments to veterans from many generations, except ours. Jared stepped up. Jared Golden joined the Marines after 9/11. He knew veterans needed to be recognized for their service. That's why in Congress, Jared fought so hard with veterans from both parties to build the Global War on Terrorism Memorial. This will be a place for all of us who served in Iraq and Afghanistan to heal, and for our families too.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because the memory of our fallen brothers and sisters must live on for generations to come.
When selling your home, knowing your options could make you tens of thousands of dollars. That's what I do for my clients. I'm Holly Taylor. Come to the one who gets it done. HollyTaylor.Realtor.
Big tech executives return to Capitol Hill. Their testimony comes one day after a Twitter whistleblower spoke about security concerns on the platform. Fox's Chad Pergram has more from Washington.
Big heat on big tech. Current and former executives of Twitter, Meta, and TikTok appeared before the Senate's Homeland Security Committee. Senators warned that their algorithms could amplify domestic threats. Former Facebook exec Brian Boland says it's difficult to determine who sees an increase in harmful content.
Facebook is now moving towards a TikTok model, where it's not just friends and family content, it is unconnected, algorithmically driven content.
Also at issue, the input of foreign countries on platforms, such as TikTok. Security officials have advised lawmakers against using the platform due to the amount of personal information the Chinese-owned company can access.
We do have employees based in China. We also have very strict access controls around the type of data that they can access and where that data is stored.
At a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on Tuesday, the former security chief at Twitter, Peter Mudge-Zatko, testified that there's the potential for foreign agents to work undercover at the company.
If you placed somebody in Twitter, as I believe that, as we know has happened, it would be very difficult to Twitter to find them.
Senators Lindsey Graham and Elizabeth Warren are trying to create a regulatory commission to protect social media consumers. Graham argues that requiring companies to hold a license could encourage them to improve security measures. Section 230 of the Communications Act of 1996 shields social media companies from litigation about their content, and Congress is stymied trying to reform Section 230. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Well, it is shaping up to be a potentially challenging school year as ongoing teacher shortages continue straining districts nationwide. Fox's Jackie Ibanez has more on which areas are experiencing some of the toughest challenges, plus a look at a controversial strategy hoping to provide some relief.
Good morning, everyone. So excited to see you.
Back to school season may be in full swing.
It is a nightmare.
But districts across the country are still grappling with ongoing teacher shortages, fueled in part by the pandemic and its aftermath.
The shortage in Florida is due to several factors. Many of them are happening across the country, such as lack of adequate salaries, lack of support, cost of living.
Educators say staffing gaps are also due to districts being unable to hire enough qualified employees fast enough, with fields like special ed and bilingual education especially impacted.
Those students need small group instruction so that their individual needs can be met.
While the problems stem nationwide, schools in the South are predominantly feeling the pinch, leaving some states to implement a variety of solutions. In Florida, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis recently signed into law the Military Veterans Certification Pathway Program, letting veterans with no prior experience teach in the classroom.
I think that there's veterans out there that can be in the classroom and make an immediate impact. Absolutely.
Veterans can achieve a temporary 5-year teaching certificate if they've served a minimum of 48 months of active duty, have at least 60 college credits, and a minimum 2.5 GPA, as well as clear a background check and pass a Florida State subject area exam. Opponents call the move worrisome, citing how teaching is more than just having a love for kids. It requires several years of critical training. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Three Maine schools have been ranked among the best higher education institutions in the region. U.S. News and World Report's 2023 Best Colleges list named the University of Maine at Presque Isle among the top tier of best regional colleges in the North and the top 20 public schools in the North. It also named the school in the top 10 regional colleges in the North for graduates with the least debt and the top 30 regional colleges in the North for social mobility. University of Maine at Presque Isle President Ray Rice says it's an honor to be recognized in 4 different categories.
It really tells us that the efforts we're making to ensure that the programs are not only affordable, but also that they're structured in a way that it helps our students to succeed. It shows us that we're definitely doing the right thing.
The University of Maine and University of Maine at Machias ranked in the top performers on social mobility and top public schools as well. The University of Maine at Machias was also included in the list of top national liberal arts colleges.
Well, the Bangor Historical Society is hosting a night at the museum, If Portraits Could Talk. Next Wednesday, September 21st, you can join the team for a fundraising night at the Thomas A. Hill House on Union Street. The goal of the event is to solve a mystery puzzle using different clues and finding your way around the museum.
We're going to be having clues leading to different objects and parts and pieces of different paintings to kind of tell this story. So you got to take the hints and find the correct painting or object or clothing that we're going to have out.
The mystery puzzle will have 2 levels, one family-friendly and less intense, and one for experienced puzzle devotees. Bishop says the night will be full of mystery, with most of the evening based on historical events with some creativity mixed in. Devil's Half-Acre Distillery will be sampling some drinks, and Bishop said there will also be plenty of food as you take your journey back in time. Tickets start at $25 for members and are $40 for non-members.
Well, today marked opening day at the Oxford County Fair. The 4-day event is at the fairgrounds off Pottle Road in Oxford, and there are a number of new events this year, including lawnmower races, a redneck truck pull, and cornhole tournament, just to name a few. Of course, all the traditional favorites are back too, like the apple pie contest and the ox pulling event. Let's have a look in on the opening day.
We like to go see the livestock and all the different animals.
I like the animals. We're not really into the rides.
Yeah, we're animal people. Just get into the barns and look around. And despite my accent, I really do like the animals a lot.
I came to this fair to see the livestock. I enjoy to get a chance to pet them and talk to them. I looked also at the Midway. They have a good offering there.
What they should know is these cattle are well taken care of. The stick sounds worse than it is. These people all care very greatly for their animals. They're all athletes. They're all conditioned. They truly care about this sport, and most of these people are here as a family ordeal, not just 1 or 2, a whole group of family, multiple generation. It's a big part of agriculture in the state of Maine. Every event we have here we think is big. We've got sheep shows, we've got cattle shows, we've got cattle pulling, we've got the 4-H and youth barn right full of livestock exhibits, youngsters right up through. So everything here is a big event, we feel like, at the fair.
Wow. How impressive to be working with those just ginormous cattle and
Yeah.
just seeing how confident and comfortable they are in that position. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you know, what that gentleman said is right. Those agriculture events are such a big part of the culture here in Maine.
Right.
It usually is a family affair, multiple generations. That's true of my husband's family for sure. Yeah. And they do put quite a lot of work into it.
Yeah, well, really cool to see there. Definitely a good opportunity to get out there because the weather should be pretty nice in the next few days as well.
Absolutely. And Jeff Weller's back with more answers on that in the full 5-day. Stay with us.
High temperatures up near 80 today will not be the case tomorrow. Much colder air is on the way, but when will it rain again? Those details for you when I come back.
Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7. Nothing hits harder than this. Five-Finger Death Punch. Saturday, September 17th, Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine, with Megadeth. And special guests, The Who. And Fire from the Gods. On sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com. Five-Finger Death Punch. New single, Afterlife, out now.
You don't have to worry about gas prices with the new Kia from Van Sickle. Choose from the affordable 2022 Kia Forte EPA at 39 miles per gallon or the Kia Niro Hybrid EPA rated at 53 mpg. The new all-wheel drive Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid EPA rated at 79 mpge. Or check out the stunning all-new all-wheel drive 2023 Kia Sportage and get the peace of mind that comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The best in the business.
The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7.
I wanted to create a dynasty. We have to stick together, no matter what.
An all-new Monarch, Tuesday on Fox.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Penobscot Plaza in Bangor, providing custom ink by licensed artists for over 20 years. And let's start here. The temperature results are in from August, and August came back as the 6th warmest August on record. That's land and ocean temperatures globally. So on this map, red is above average and blue is below. Certainly a lot of red during the month of August. Today, though, above average again, right? 78 here in Bangor, 77 Bar Harbor. But the cold air is going to win, and it's basically going to ride for us overnight tonight on a gusty northwest wind. Out there now it's gusting near 20, and that should stay with us tonight into the day tomorrow as temperatures hang out in the 60s tomorrow. Are you ready for that? Okay, it's also blowing around some allergens. So tree pollen's low, but the grass and weed kind of in the moderate category now. So if you're sniffling and sneezing, this could be a reason why with that wind out there tonight and the allergens in the air. If you're looking for fall colors, you know it's going to happen quick, right? So we're not quite there yet. Typically, we're talking about later this month into early parts of October. So overall, we got some time, but things are beginning to change, as you know, and it will begin to happen very quickly. All right, so lots of cloud cover out there early today gave way to some sunshine throughout the afternoon. There were a couple sprinkles across the area this morning. That is now gone. We're looking at mostly clear skies for us tonight as this whole thing kind of pulls away. See you never. Behind it, very nice air flowing in. But it's cooler, drier Canadian air, and that's going to drop the dew points tonight and also going to give us some low temperatures near 50 and then not recover much tomorrow. We're talking high temperatures tomorrow for most of us in the 60s. Let's walk you through this overnight clear skies tonight. No worries at all. Here's tomorrow morning about 9:30 or so. Looking at nothing but sunshine tomorrow and then maybe a couple clouds in the area Thursday evening. That's going to be a stretch, though. And looking like a pretty nice day for us on Friday as well, followed by really a nice weekend on deck with temperatures a bit cooler, though. So our forecast then tonight, though, is mostly clear skies, a bit breezy. Look for low temperatures down near 50, but that northwest wind could gust near 25. That could rattle your windows a bit this evening. For tomorrow, all right, so this is a change, right? Mostly sunny, but windy. That northwest wind could gust near 30, making waves on the lakes tomorrow with high temperatures near 64. It's not a typo. It's going to feel much cooler across our area tomorrow because it is much cooler tomorrow. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows Friday, same story, 65. Friday night football games look great this week with temperatures, game time temperatures in the 50s. And then a nice weekend unfolding, temperatures near 70 with lots of sunshine. Beth?
Great weekend indeed. Thank you, Mother Nature and Mr. Weller.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We will take it.
We will.
Keep it coming, Jeff.
Indeed.
Thanks so much. All right, sports is coming up next, so stay with us.
You know what's really interesting? Our customers are just so surprised Bridget didn't recommend just the most expensive mattress. That's because she recommends a series of mattresses that'll fit you at different prices. Come in and meet Bridget.
Jared Golden promised to watch out for us, even campaigned as a fighter against Biden's reckless spending that he knew would make inflation worse. But 3 days later, Jared Golden cast a deciding vote for Biden's newest wasteful spending bill. that experts say will hike taxes by billions on those making under $200,000. Maine families are already struggling too much on Jared Golden's watch. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The better way to a better window. Renewal by Andersen.
Just as cooler weather comes along, so does another great offer from Renewal by Andersen. All this month, $300 off each of our energy-efficient windows. $800 off each door. Nothing down. No payments or interest for 12 months for qualified buyers. Schedule a free in-home consultation at rbagreatermaine.com.
The better way to a better window. Renewal by Andersen.
In Maine, it's always buying season. And at Thornton Brothers in Lincoln, we carry new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Rams for your buying season. Here at Thornton Brothers, we'll help you find the right vehicle specifically for you to suit your lifestyle. As they say, the proof is in the performance. So come on over and test drive a real vehicle from a real dealership, or place your order with us and see why it really is buying season here in Maine. Thornton Brothers, Main Street, Lincoln.
You know, at Jordan's, we have over 90 different mattresses you can try. That's where Bridget and our sleep techs come in. With a short analysis of you, your sleeping habits, all you have to do is choose the one that's right for you and your budget. Come into Jordan's and meet Bridget.
The Husson University Eagles take on the Alfred State Pioneers this Saturday at noon on Fox 22.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. A busy Wednesday in the soccer world up here. Two big local matchups to get to. We will start there. Game 1 takes us over to Union Street. John Baptist girls hosting Ellsworth. Both teams battling in this one. Scoreless in the first. That's where we'll start. Crusaders on the corner. Samantha Ismail places this one perfectly. Aubrey Hanscom uses the body to knock it in for the first goal of the game. What a pass there. We are still in the first. Claire Gaetani on the throw-in. This one finds, guess who? Aubrey Hanscom. She gets around the defender and beats the keeper there. 2-0 John Baptist. But Ellsworth, they would fire back after the Crusaders can't get this one cleared. It is Adderson Atherton, the sophomore, getting the Eagles on the board. All right, moving on now. We are tied here in the second. Baptist threatening again, and look who it is, using the left foot to get this one to go. The hat trick for Aubrey Hanscom. Ellsworth would score again late, and that tie would not be broken. 3-3, the final in that one. So a lot of goals there. Let's see what the nightcap has in store. Hamden and Brewer, which is up 1-0 at the half. Broncos with a chance here while it was changing batteries, but Grady Venetestein and the Brewer defense is there to turn them away. Later on, Broncos with a chance on a great cross here from Colin McKay. Aaron Donovan for the tie. Goes over the net. Field goal's good, but the goal is not. Brewer now with a shot to extend the lead here. It's Drew Hodgins, but look at that diving stop from Sam Burnham. He is fired up, but despite all of his efforts, both teams are held scoreless in the second half. Venetestein and the Witches post their third straight shutout victory. 1-0 is the final in that one. All right, we will head now to some news out of the University of Maine. Field hockey has been rolling lately. Some really good play from Mia Borley in net, and on Tuesday, Borley was recognized for those efforts. She was named the America East Defensive Player of the Week. She posted an 8-save shutout on Friday, her 15th as a Black Bear, and then stopped 8 of 9 shots on goal on Sunday, leading Maine to 2 weekend victories, finishing that weekend with a .5 goals allowed average and a .942 save percentage. Maine looks to stay hot. Sunday the 18th, they head to Northeastern to wrap up their non-conference schedule. All right, let's head to some baseball now. I don't think the Red Sox are making the playoffs this year. I hate to break it to all of you who may be pulling for that small chance. But as for the Sea Dogs, they needed one win to clinch a playoff spot heading into the night on Wednesday, their first playoff spot in 8 years. The Dogs were in Somerset Wednesday with the chance to pop some bottles. Tuesday night, the Sea Dogs pulled out an extra innings thriller, beating the Patriots 10-9 and 11. Portland won tonight at Wednesday as well, 12-7. They will meet Somerset in the division championship round beginning next Tuesday at Hadlock. We spoke with manager Chad Epperson before the Dogs' trip to New York about the Red Sox-Yankees AA playoff showdown.
You look at the schedule and you start seeing Somerset right at the end, who obviously is a big rival and our parent club all the way down through our system. So you kind of had an idea it was probably going to come down to that if we were going to be in it, and sure enough, here we are.
It's always fun being in a playoff chase. As a player, no matter what level you're on, you always want to win a championship.
All right, that's the goal. Always want to win a championship. Let's move on now to the Patriots. They are on to Pittsburgh this week, on the road again, facing the Steelers. They're a little banged up after that Week 1 loss to Miami. Almost adding injury to insult, right? Mac Jones had x-rays on his back. Those came back negative. That's still something to watch. He was a full participant Wednesday in practice, and they lost their lone touchdown scorer, Ty Montgomery. He was one of my favorite offseason pickups. He was moved to the injured reserve list earlier in the week with an ankle injury, as if the offense could get any less productive. They're now preparing for a Pittsburgh defense that forced 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions in Week 1, but they still needed overtime and some luck to take a win over Cincy. Coach Belichick says that Pats offense, they're in for a treat this week down in Pittsburgh.
Just overall a good complementary defense. Linebackers are fast. They have a good front. They play a lot of people. And their secondary is kind of a ball-hawking secondary. They go after the ball and read the quarterback well, do a good job of breaking on the throw and closing space quickly. It's an athletic defense with some good, powerful people inside.
Talkative Bill. That's all the time we have in sports. We'll be right back after this.
Join Planet Fitness today and get more epic energy and better sleep with tons of equipment in our clean and spacious clubs. Join for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 14th.
When pipes froze and water damage ravaged a home, Bouchard Cleaning was there to restore and dry things up. When a home in Wells needed mold remediation, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration performed as promised. From Madawaska to Owl's Head, Ashland to Bath, we've answered the call. More than just a cleaning company, we're restoring Maine. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need tractors rated #1 in durability and owner experience so you can do it all and do it right. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Right now, bring home the Kubota VX Series for 0 down, 0% APR for 60 months, plus save up to $700.
When you're ready to tackle your next building project, no matter how big or small, you'll find all the products and services you need at Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Sometimes big truck accidents can result in big case settlements. These are just some of the big case results I fought to get my clients. If you've been hurt by a big truck, call the Twos. We win for you.
Your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Here's this week's featured deal.
Great things are always cooking at the Ground. New menu, new specials, with an amazing variety of choices for every taste. Good times, great service, and amazing food. Only at your locally owned Ground, Odland Road, Bangor.
On sale Thursday at 9 a.m. A limited supply available. Half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
More Masked Singers September 21st on Fox.
Join Planet Fitness today and get more epic energy and better sleep with tons of equipment in our clean and spacious clubs. Join for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 14th.
Hey, I'm Jerry O'Connell. Join me this fall right here on Fox 22 at 10 a.m. for Pictionary.
Coffee cooling off a report in the New York Times suggests that might be the case, with more young people drinking iced coffee. Starbucks reported in August that 75% of their sales between April and June were those of cold beverages. The company attributed this to its Gen Z clientele. Even more, the coffee chain says cold drinks have represented at least 60% of their sales since April of 2021. But why do the youngins prefer their drinks cold? Well, many say they don't like waiting for their coffee to cool off, while others say the iced drinks are just more fun to sip on.
I'm an iced coffee guy myself, personally. And moving on now, a new survey suggests test taking may be harming some students' mental health. Study and learning company Quizlet conducted the survey. 1,000 Gen Z students participated. The survey found 86% of Gen Z students say they've experienced test-taking anxiety. They're certainly not alone. The survey says 3/4 of the students say they felt anxious in the last 6 months. More than 40% say they're concerned that their academic futures could be negatively impacted.
Well, people who start their day early and stay busy for most of it might benefit mentally. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh examined 1,800 older Americans, and they found that early risers who are active all day and stick to the same routine each day have better cognitive function and are happier. This is especially beneficial with older age. Researchers say how intense the activity isn't really important. Instead, it's how long participants perform the activity that helps with their health and wellness.
Taking time for ourselves is key, and a doctor explains the importance of self-care for our health. According to Matthew Sakos, a psychologist from Cleveland Clinic, having a self-care routine can be beneficial for our mental and physical health. Sakos says self-care regimens don't need to be anything demanding or expensive. He says it must be something you enjoy doing, like taking a bubble bath, cooking a healthy meal, or working out, anything that makes us relax. He emphasizes that self-care routines can take time, but you should never feel pressured to do those activities. I think it's really interesting, how much is kind of encapsulated under that term self-care. And yeah, like they said, even just cooking a meal for yourself or doing something that you enjoy can kind of be part of that.
Oddly enough, I find, when you make the stuffed Kong toys for your dog for amusement and engagement purposes, I find just the process of calmly taking my time to do those at my own speed can actually just be a nice ritual.
That's a cool, it's little things.
Anything that you get to do your own way.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Yeah, I think it's all about the process and the routine. It definitely can help, and it's kind of comforting, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, really cool.
All right, folks, well, that's going to do it for us. From everybody at Fox 22 News, take care and have a great rest of your night.
Good night, everyone.